What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? It is Saturday. It is December 22nd, and it is noon. It is high noon, so I hope you got your pistols ready. So what is going on, guys? Today, this is episode 46 of our show. And if you saw the thumbnail image and if you saw the title of the show, it's basically saying, are we giving up on Magic Leap too soon? And so, yeah, in chat right now, let me go ahead and pop my chat out so I have it in the right spot here. In chat right now, Jim Hall says, oh no, another Magic Leap episode, time to go back to bed. And yeah, so here's the thing, guys. I don't have a lot on Magic Leap. This is not going to take a lot of time, but I did want to cover a little bit on Tested's new video that came out. Tested, of course, one of the best programs out there. They have a program called Projections where Jeremy and Norm cover VR, AR, and they kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive. They kind of get in there a little bit more and get to the heart of the matter. A lot of times they have actual interviews with the people that are involved with these projects, and they dive a little bit deeper. And I got to admit that in regards to Magic Leap is kind of something that I have kind of written off. The last time I talked about Magic Leap, I was basically saying, you know what? I'm not really interested in this product anymore. This product is probably ahead of its time. It costs too much. It's not ready for prime time. It's not even that compelling. And so my interest level in Magic Leap has kind of fallen off a cliff. So not very interested in Magic Leap whatsoever. But, you know, a lot of people were getting at me and saying, Anthony, have you seen this new video that Tested came out with? They're covering a lot of Magic Leap stuff. It's kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and watch this video. I'll go ahead and check it out. And you know what? After watching this video, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit more interested in Magic Leap. So we will get into that a little bit, but it's not going to take very long, and it's not that big of a deal. So don't get too worried here that this is going to be like a Magic Leap extravaganza, because it's not. It's absolutely not going to be a Magic Leap extravaganza, but we will talk about it for a little bit. Now, what else do we have going on? First of all, I got to say, not a lot going on. There really isn't a lot going on, and this may be one of our shorter episodes, so just want to let people know about that. Now, before we get involved with anything else, one thing I do want to remind people about, let me see if I can go ahead and pop this on the screen here, just a second here. I wanted to remind people that we are accepting votes right now on our possible wild cards. So for those of you that don't know what is going on right now, we are doing our Game of the Year breakdown. We've already gone through all 12 months of 2018. We have picked a Game of the Month for all 12 months, and that gives us 12 amazing games, amazing VR games for the year 2018. We've also done this thing called additional qualifiers, and we have 9 of those. So that gives us a total of 21. However, we want to have 25 games that we're talking about when we're talking about Game of the Year. We want a 25 game basket that is just the cream de la creme, the 25 best games that have come out in the year 2018 for VR platforms. And here's the deal. We need 4 more games. And so what I was telling everybody yesterday, how do you vote on this wildcard thing? Well, all you got to do is go into the show notes for this trailer. There is an invite for our Discord server. All you got to do is click on that. You create yourself a little Discord account. You can hop into our Discord server. And then what I need everybody to do is I need you guys to send me a message. Message me directly with your 4 best games of these wild cards. And so far I've only received 2 votes. 2 votes. Shush Turtle has voted. She has given me her top 4 out of these wild cards. I Am Ruts, also often in chat, has given me his 4 picks out of these wild cards. But right now I've only got 2 votes. I gotta have more than that, guys. I gotta have more votes than just 2. Now, of course, I did have a couple of people message me and say, hey, I've only played 1 game out of these. Actually, technically, we have 3 votes. Jay Benson has put in his vote. Now, he's only played really 1 of these 12 games, so he's just voting on 1. So you can pick 4 or less. You could pick 1 game or 2 games or 3 games if you've only played a couple of these. But I need your votes. Lethal Weasel VR in chat says, I vote for VR Paradise. Hands down. Hands down or hands all over the place. I don't know. But you know what? VR Paradise is not in the mix. It is not being considered. If we do our Prawn Awards, it certainly will be in the mix there for the Prawn Awards. But I don't know that we're going to have the Prawn Awards, all right? So I need you guys to vote on these actual wild cards. We only have 3 votes. Shush Turtle, I Am Ruts, Jay Benson, they have submitted votes, but I'm waiting for votes from everybody else. I need you guys to put them in numerical order, which one you want the most in order, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you've only played 2 of these, then you can rank 2 of these. And if you just don't want to vote, that's fine as well. But basically, we're taking the votes up until Wednesday morning. So you got to get these in by Christmas Day, sometime during Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, over this weekend. Go ahead and get these votes in, because prior to Wednesday, that is when we end the votes. So basically like midnight Christmas Day Pacific time, that is the deadline for these votes. Then we will have our final 25 games, and we can do our Game of the Year stuff based off of those 25 games. So I just wanted to remind people about these wild cards. Get your votes in, get them while it's hot. Okay, what else is going on? Let's go ahead and switch over here to our Webby browser. And I just wanted to bring this up, guys. Wipeout Omega Collection. This is the game that won March. It is our March game of the month. It is $8. It is 60% off. You can grab this baby for $8, and if you got PS Plus, you get another 10% off of that. And so there's a lot of deals. There are a ton of deals that are going on right now on all the different platforms. Obviously, we do have the Steam sale, which is pretty incredible. A lot of great values on that Steam sale. We also have Oculus Winter Wonderland, and there's a lot of great stuff that is going on over there on Oculus. I've already talked about Arctica 1. Some of the deals are not quite as good. And then we also have a lot of PlayStation sales as well. In fact, you know what? I can go over here and let's take a look at the PSVR catalog. Let's take a quick look, and we can sort this by price. We'll start it with low to high. And of course, these are going to be like free demos and stuff. So let's go ahead and get through some of these free demos here. But I just wanted to see, is anything really jumping out at me in terms of like crazy good deals? We'll go ahead and scroll down here a little bit until we can finally get to games that are actually charged. Okay, so here we are. We're now where games are charging actual money. And, you know, Gunjack. Gunjack is 50% off. You can get this for $2.50. Not terrible. Gunjack is not terrible. In fact, I think I played this on PlayStation VR. I think I played Gunjack on PlayStation VR. And you know what Gunjack reminds me of? It reminds me of Star Wars. It reminds me of the Millennium Falcon. Do you guys remember when Luke and Han are like, okay, we got to shoot down all these TIE fighters? And, you know, they hop into their special slots in the Millennium Falcon, and they have their joysticks, and they're like, you know, they're shooting all the TIE fighters that are trying to attack them. That's kind of what Gunjack reminds me of. You can grab that for a cup of coffee, basically. You know, scrolling through here, I'm trying to see if there's any kind of logos that jump out at me. And I'll continue to move on here and see if we can find some incredible deals on PSVR that are going for dirt cheap. Dead Hungry is $8, not too bad. You know, I mean, I don't even know that that's a sale, though. 100-foot robot golf, I've heard stay as far away from that as humanly possible. Dark Legion, you could grab this for $6. Kind of heard some mixed reviews on Dark Legion. Not sure about that one. Let's go ahead and check one more page along here. Now we're up into the $10 games, and you know, it's kind of funny that we didn't see. So I guess if it's off the original price, it's not going to show up until later. So Smashbox Arena, 50% off. That is $5. Trying to see if there's anything else kind of nice here. Tumble VR is $10. That's actually kind of expensive for Tumble VR. It's normally like super dirt cheap. But anyway, those are some of the deals that are going on PSVR. Nothing super incredible, but definitely Wipeout was one that kind of jumped to mind. And I don't know why it's not loading the next page. So anyway, we'll go ahead and skip out on this. But basically, what else can we get into today? We are going to get into the tested video. Before we get into that, though, I thought we might want to take a look at, there is a trailer for 2MD VR Football, the 2-player mode. Now, I heard about this 2-player mode for 2MD VR Football, and I fired it up, and I realized that you gotta have somebody in your house on a DualShock 4 controller. One of you guys is in the VR headset, the other guy is on the couch with a DualShock 4 controller. And I didn't have anybody with me that day to be able to play it with me, so I backed out of it, didn't play it. But there is a trailer for this, and I thought we could throw the trailer on, check it out real quick, maybe talk about this for a quick minute, and then we can go ahead and get into those the tested video on Magic Leap. But let's go ahead and fire up this 2MD VR Football trailer, this head-to-head trailer. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Y'all better ask your friend. I see trouble, I'm already for it. I'm not looking, but I'm ready for it. Will I win, man? I bet he know it. I got one goal and I bet I score it. When they see me coming, everybody start running. He don't have the heart, he can feel it in his stomach. The heat that I'm throwing at everybody out here ducking. I'm always up to something, so I'm never down for nothing. Everybody know me. I ain't out in these streets. I be out in that field getting these meals, still can be beat. So they know we meet, that I only see meat. I pray on the weak, knock them out they cleats. That's a defeat. Get out the way, 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 get out the way.
Alrighty, yeah, that is 2MD VR Football, and you know what? That does look pretty cool. I bet you that would be pretty fun. I wish I could talk one of my sons into grabbing a DualShock 4 and humoring me to try this out, or to put them in the VR headset, and I can play defense on my DualShock 4 controller just on the regular TV screen. That would kind of be cool. I just don't know how it works too well. You do got this new Gigadome, so you get to play the game in the Gigadome. And sometimes, like when we're looking at this right here, it looks like Madden. You know, it looks like John Madden back in the days on like Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo. And it might be fun to play a little bit of defense or to try to sack the quarterback, try to grab an interception, do those kinds of things. One guy is in the VR headset and he has that first-person view. I'm a big fan of this game. I think this game is cool. We don't have a legitimate American football game in VR. Unfortunately, we simply don't have that. This 2MD VR football, it is a fun game. I still don't believe it is a legitimate VR football game, like from a head-to-head standpoint. It's kind of more of, you know, it's 2MD. 2MD stands for 2-minute drill. It is basically like a quarterback's 2-minute drill where you try to quickly move down the field. You try to get yourself a quick touchdown. That's what it's kind of all about. And this is 2MD VR football. Definitely a fan of it. Would like to try this head-to-head mode, but I need a friend. I do not have a friend, at least not locally in my home, that can just appear at any given time. Definitely do not have that. But yeah, that is the 2MD VR football. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get into this tested video. I did want to get into this. So what I did was I watched this entire tested video. I thought there were some very interesting moments that were in this tested video, some interesting comments, some interesting ideas. And so what I decided to do is I decided to grab a number of clips from this tested video, some very short video sequences, and I thought we could check out some of these short video sequences and I can make some comments about it and we can run through that really quick. Now, before we get into that, Greg's VR says, hey, at VR365, do you remember NFL 2K5's point of view mode? You know, the first person mode that they if they adapted that for VR, it would be incredible. And yes, you know what? I do remember that. I do remember NFL 2K5. That was the last 2K football game. It was like the last great NFL football game that we've ever had, because Madden, let's be honest, if you're a legitimate fan of NFL football, Madden just isn't very good. It just isn't. It just has never been very good. For the longest time. Honestly, Madden, the last time Madden was really, really, really good was way the hell back in November of 1992. November of 1992. Most of you were not alive at that time. A game called Madden 93 came out on the Sega Genesis. Absolutely freaking incredible. Madden 93, probably, you know, Madden 93, quite honestly, on the Sega Genesis, very specifically the Genesis version of Madden 93, that might be the best football game ever, period. End of story, end of discussion. Madden 93 on the Sega Genesis, absolutely incredible. And the truth of the matter is, they've never reached that glory ever since then. There's been a couple of Maddens that were halfway decent over the years, but they've never found the glory that was Madden 93. Now, you'll get a few people out there that'll be like, oh, well, Madden NFL 12 was actually pretty darn good. No, the truth is no. It's all garbage. And NFL 2K5 was the last great NFL game. And that's when that game came out for $19.99. Yeah, they released Visual Concepts was the developer of that game, and 2K Sports was the publisher of that game. They released that game for $20. And Electronic Arts damn near had a heart attack when that happened. They damn near had a heart attack, because basically what 2K Sports says is, this is what they did. They were like, you know what? We got the best football game. It blows Madden out of the frickin' water, and we are so effing confident in this game. We're going to price it at $20 so we can show all these dumbass Madden people that buy Madden every year like clockwork that this game is so much better. And we're going to prove it to them by pricing it at only $20. And Electronic Arts was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? They price us at $20. Everybody's going to find out that Madden is garbage and this game is so much better. And Electronic Arts was in such a freaking panic. Oh my God, they were in such a panic over this that they broke out the war chest. They broke out billions with a B. Billions with a B to sign an exclusive deal with the NFL to make sure that Visual Concepts would never have the NFL license again. And that was the end of legitimate, decent football games. I don't know why I'm talking about this. This has nothing to do with VR. But yeah, oh, here's the thing. It does have to do with VR. Greg's VR is talking about the first-person mode. And there was a first-person mode in NFL 2K5, and you could be the linebacker, like straight up first person. You could be the middle linebacker, and it had a first-person mode, and you're basically being that middle linebacker, and you're looking around. They hike the ball, and then bam, you go after the quarterback or the running back or whatever it was, and it was pretty freaking awesome. And yeah, I do believe that they could take that first-person mode of NFL 2K5 and convert it to VR, and that would be freaking cool. That would be super cool. But of course, we're never going to get that. So anyway, shed a bunch of tears. I will say this, though. Madden 93 on the Sega Genesis, still the best football game ever. Okay, why don't we go ahead and get into a little bit of this tested video on Magic Leap. I know a lot of you guys would rather put a shotgun into your mouth and pull the trigger than hear anything more about Magic Leap. But what I'm trying to say here is maybe there's something here. Maybe there's something to this Magic Leap thing. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater quite yet. Let's take a look at a couple of these clips. Let's check this out. I've got basically 6 different clips. They're very short. We can run through these things really quick, and we can talk about them really quick. I think it's kind of interesting. Alrighty, let's go to clip number 1. Let's start off with clip number 1. I'm going to switch. Hold on a second here. I'm going to switch to this full screen trailer and then go to clip number 1. And then we'll go through it like that. So
of this game, because they know, of course, everyone's gonna have a different play space, right? How do you design a game where you don't know what the user's play space is going to be like? Well, they described it as being akin to giving people the rules and the tools for an activity, an outdoor activity. I can give you a baseball bat and a baseball, but you're going to need a baseball field to play it in. Yep. And you can't expect that everyone's going to have one, but they would then find the locations to have one. In that same way, they build the rules of this game in the tool sets, but you need to have the right space to play it.
You need to have a certain amount of square footage on your actual wall.
On the wall.
As well as space of the floor.
And what are the limitations of this game? Because they know, of course, everyone's gonna have a different play space, right? How do you design a game where you don't know what the user's play space is gonna be like? Well, they described it as being akin to giving people the rules and the tools for an activity, an outdoor activity. I can give you a baseball bat and a baseball, but you're gonna need a baseball field to play it in.
Okay, yeah, so that is our first clip. Sorry about that. It was it recycled, and I thought it was the same clip there for a second. But this is kind of an interesting idea here, because we got to understand AR. Look at all you people out there that hate AR. You're going to have to get over it. You're really going to have to get over it, because AR isn't going anywhere. You're going to, I'm going to tell you straight up, over the next like 7 or 8 years, you're going to hear so much about AR that it is going to make you sick to your stomach. And so if you guys hear about AR right now and you're already going into hater mode, just imagine what's going to happen over the next 6 to 7 years. I think you just need to open your mind up to the possibilities. And we get into this debate all the time. And people will say, you know what, AR is fine, but not for gaming. Not for gaming. If I'm going to play a video game, I'm going to use my VR headset. I don't want to play video games in AR. AR is fine for looking up my email and for, you know, doing different things like that, but I don't want to play a video game in AR. Well, slap yourself. Slap yourself. That's how you do it. Slap yourself, because AR is coming. Whether you like it or not, it is coming. And there are going to be some incredible AR gaming experiences, and you just need to get your head out of the sand and wake the hell up. Shake yourself, okay? Shake yourself. Wake up, because AR is going to be a factor. Now, how are they going to do it, though? And that's what they're talking about here. Basically what they're saying, look, if you're going to play baseball, you might have a baseball bat, you might have a ball, but you got to go somewhere to play baseball. You can't play baseball in your living room. You got to find a place to do it. And that's kind of what they're going to do with a lot of these really interesting AR experiences. They're going to give you a set of rules and a set of things to do, and then you got to find the proper room and the proper situation to make that happen. Now, right now, I know a lot of you are thinking, really? Am I really going to go out of my way to find some special room here or a special situation there to play some dumb AR game? And my personal opinion is some of these AR games are going to be so freaking compelling that yes, you are going to find a space. You are going to find a room. Now, I know you guys don't believe me now. I totally understand it. You don't believe me now. But this is kind of one of these videos. Save this video and come back in about 4 years, and you will be laughing. You will be laughing at yourself that you really did not believe this, and you didn't think that you would go out of your way to make a special space for AR stuff, because you are. You just don't realize it yet. Okay, let's go to clip number 2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it a full screen trailer. You won't be able to hear my voice, and then I'm going to grab clip number 2.
Of this game, because they know, of course, everyone's going to have a different play space, right? How do you design a game where you don't know what the user's play space is going to be?
First thing you have to do is calibrate, and you go through this experience, what you're describing right now, and it will tell you to look at the ground, look at the walls, walk around your space. Even if you've calibrated the headset previously, like in the system, the game itself needs to go through this calibration phase.
And it's pretty fast. It's like you're looking around much faster than I think the Create app does it, but it actually, in real time, you see geometry popping up. And here you do see one of the limitations of the Magic Leap in terms of not being able to recognize mirrors or clear glass as solid walls, windows as walls. So you need pretty solid surfaces without things like bookshelves.
It'll think that computer monitors are windows, for instance.
Exactly. And something I quickly realized is, if you look at your apartment, if you look at your house, you may have walls with a lot of surface area, but most of the time your walls are not bare. Your walls have something on them.
Yep.
It's actually, it took me a little while to find a room in my house that had the designated space needed for this, and it actually is an overlay. They have these wireless picture frames that pop up, and they say we need a 4 foot by 6 foot area that's blank to map in your space, and it needs to be no higher than 3 feet above the ground, which seems like an arbitrary limitation, but actually ties into how that becomes a portal in your world and how that opens up the world of the game.
So it doesn't actually matter if you have a huge space. You still need empty wall space in order for the game to work. And if it can't find what it needs, it will tell you, maybe you should try another room. And so I did, and in fact, this room was not good because there's so much noise on the walls everywhere that you look. First thing you have to do is calibrate, and you go through this experience, what you're describing right now.
Okay, so that was clip number 2. Now, I thought this is kind of interesting because I haven't seen this before. Now, I have not watched a lot of Magic Leap videos. I know there's tons of them all over YouTube about like Dr. Grordbort's, but this one was kind of interesting because in order to play Dr. Grordbort's, you actually do have to go through this setup process. You have to scan your room, and what they were talking about right there is you cannot play Dr. Grordbort's in just any average room. You need to have a wall that doesn't have like a lot of crap all over the place. You need to have a ceiling that doesn't have a lot of stuff all over the ceiling. You need to have a floor that doesn't have a lot of stuff all over the floor. And so when you think about it, it is kind of interesting because we think about the different walls that we have in our houses, And we typically have walls that have paintings on it, or there's a bookshelf, or there's this thing, or there's that thing, or there's a big TV there, or there's a window there, or there's this or that. And that's what it's kind of doing here. It's got to analyze your room, and it's got to look for a big blank space on your wall so that it can make the magic happen in that big blank space. So this is something that you're going to have to do. This is obviously a limitation. This is obviously a concern, but I do believe, and I know that a lot of people think I'm batshit insane for thinking this, but I do believe that there are going to be so many incredible experiences that are going to be so compelling that you're actually going to find space. You are going to create space. Now, I know it seems crazy right now, and you can't understand that because you got to have the foresight for this. And this is years into the future. This is years into the future. And this technology isn't here. It's not here yet. It's not ready yet. This technology doesn't have the field of view. Things are still like halfway transparent, but it's not going to stay this way forever. That's the thing that we got to wrap our heads around. It is not going to stay that way forever. Okay, let's go into clip number 3. So I'm going to go to the full screen setup, and then we're going to go ahead and go into clip number 3.
Something I quickly realized is if you look at your apartment, if you look at your house, you may have walls with a lot of surface area, but most of the time your walls are not bare. Your walls have something.
When you do have the guns, though, in real life, in augmented reality, the first time you fire that gun, I found it to be just next level kind of
It's a transformative, immersive experience.
It is really, really different from virtual reality.
Yeah.
So you're holding it, the gun is more or less there. It's a little translucent, but it's more opaque than you might imagine. And you fire, and there's this tracer that goes through space, and it's beautifully animated, and then it hits your wall, or your ceiling, or your desk, or your floor.
Or my dog.
And there's an effect as though there's like a burn mark on the wall. And it's like, wow, I just fired a gun in my house.
Right. It's kind of scary because, like, my wife Danica was sitting on the couch, and I didn't want to aim it toward her because I was like, I don't feel comfortable aiming it. And one of the reasons they were able to get that fidelity to work so well is because, of course, they know this physical model, the dimensions of it, and how you're holding it, and they've matched and modeled the grip of the guns to have the exact same contours.
Oh, interesting.
Here.
That's smart.
So when you're holding it, you're not clipping through the game model at all. Your hand wraps around the game model completely.
And that's a smart move. When you do have the guns, though, in real life,
Okay, so in this clip here, I thought it was interesting because you kind of just, like, we have not tried Magic Leap ourselves. Like, how many people on planet Earth have actually tried Magic Leap? You could probably fit them all in a high school gymnasium, a really big high school gymnasium, but not that many people on planet Earth have actually tried Magic Leap 1. Now, I think most of us, we trust Jeremy Williams. We trust Norman Chan. Like, these guys are legit. These guys don't lie. These guys are not pulling our leg here. And Jeremy Williams is talking about how when you have that gun in your hand, that there's something next level going on here. There's something that's almost beyond VR. And one of the things that Norman Chan was talking about, he was talking about the design of the Magic Leap controller, that basically what they did was they designed these guns, the handle of the gun, to basically have an absolute perfect shape to go along with the gun that you have in the game. So you kind of get this sensation, you're buying into it. But you know what? I think part of it, I think a really big part of why this is a next level experience, why it is, it's different than VR. It's a different thing. And I think part of it is you see your real house. Like, you see your real house. And so there's a part of your lizard brain. We got to remember here, guys, we have lizard brains, all right? Our brains are not the most advanced thing in the world when you get down to it. Like, for example, I'm looking at this computer monitor right here where I'm running my setup. I'm looking at these walls. I'm looking at this room. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not actually looking at this stuff. Like, It's not like I'm looking at this stuff and that's what my brain is taking light and it's building this inside my brain. It's actually building this inside my brain. And so I do believe that when you're in a real life space and you see real reality around you, and then you have something that is going on in this real reality that you're in at the same time, and you're shooting a gun and the bullet flies out, and the bullet is like, you know, shooting through this world, something magical happens, man. I haven't personally tried Magic Leap 1, but I'm going to take Jeremy Williams at his word here. And I believe there is something going on here. There has to be something going on here. They didn't get all these billions of dollars of investment for nothing. There has to be something super compelling that is going on here. And Jeremy Williams talks about firing the gun. He talks about that tracer bullet coming out of it. And I believe it has to do with you are seeing your real space. And so your brain, see, a part of your brain sees this real space and it says, this is reality. You know, this is real reality. And then you're having this other stuff that is added into it. You have this other stuff that is added into the mix, and your brain is already buying into the fact that this is real reality. Then you're adding these other things into it. And I think your brain basically says, well, you know, this is a little bit janktacular, but at the same time, this is real reality. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this as reality. So I do think there is power here. I do think there is something going on here. Okay, so that was clip number 3, I believe. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab clip number 4.
In augmented reality, the first time you fire that gun, I found it to be just next level kind of. So these robots will come into your world, and you have to shoot at them, and sometimes they have this red armor on. If it's red armor, you have to use the fire weapon to blast it off of them. If it's blue, use the force. You can grapple some of their armor and yank it off of them.
Real location damage. The enemies come in really all different shapes and sizes.
They're life-size robots. I mean, these are as big or bigger than you are.
Yeah, there's human-sized robots that really, when they're in your personal space, when you turn around and you see the robots there, it can be startling.
So these robots will come into your world, and you have to shoot at them, and sometimes they have...
Okay, that is our 4th clip, and the reason I wanted to highlight this particular clip is one of the things that they talk about here is life-size robots, like 6 foot tall, life-size robots. Now, obviously, you got to be standing far enough away from this for them to be 6 foot tall and for them to fit into the field of view. But what I'm trying to explain to you guys here is, forget about Magic Leap 1. Forget about Magic Leap 1. Forget about all of its problems. It's got a limited field of view, and a lot of the objects that it's putting in your world are semi-transparent. They're not 100% opaque. And so, you know, it's not as impressive as it's going to be, but I'm telling you guys, it's just a couple years away. We're just a couple years away from them getting this stuff right. And there is going to be a day when you're going to have a full-size robot that is standing in your room that has no transparency whatsoever, and it's going to be perfectly occluded. It's going to be walking around your tables. It's going to go through your doorway, and it's going to actually have the AI intelligence from deep learning and machine learning to squeeze into your doorway. There's going to be some next level S that is going to happen with this stuff. And I'm telling you, you AR haters are going to be in for a very rude awakening over the next 7 to 8 years. Yes, this is far away. I'm not going to lie about that. But I mean, are you telling me, like, you're seriously going to sit here and tell me that if you had a Magic Leap 1 on your head right now and you're seeing a 6 foot tall robot inside your actual house, that's not going to be impressive? I think you guys are throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. I think you guys are just writing this off, and I'm not sure exactly why everyone is writing this off. Is it just purely a cost? Is it purely the fact that this is $2,300? And because it's $2,300, you're like, I can't afford this. So you know what? Because I can't afford this, I don't even want to think about it. Like, no, get it away. La 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 la. I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. La la la. Is that what it is? It's got to be something, because a lot of people are writing this completely off. And look, I'm not saying run out there and buy a Magic Leap 1. I'm not going to buy a Magic Leap 1. It is way too much money. What I am saying is we cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater here. That is a 6-foot-tall robot. I guarantee you, if you had an actual headset on and you're seeing these actual visuals inside your own house, which you know your own house to be real. You know these walls to be real. You know this to be part of reality. And then you have a 6-foot-tall robot that is walking around in your house. I'm telling you, it's going to be a much more compelling experience than you're giving it credit for. And I know there's a lot of comments in here. Don't worry, we're going to get to all these comments. We will definitely get to these comments. Okay, let's go ahead and check out clip number 5, though. I'm going to switch over to our full screen trailer, and we'll check out clip number 5. I only have a couple more clips, and then we'll be over with. So just bear with me, bear with me. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch over here.
Moment for me because I have a open floor concept in my house, and there's a wall that my living rooms get scanned in, but it works with occlusion. So it's scanned the opening, and I can actually go between the wall, the doorway essentially, and hide. And the occlusion worked really well.
Yeah, when you scan your room, I mean, with the right room, there's really next level stuff with this game. Like the occlusion stuff is magical.
The couch, they will walk behind couches and you won't see their legs.
Or a table, and of course you can't shoot them either because it's occluded by the table. You'll shoot that instead, so you have to walk around and get them.
There's one aha moment for me because I have a open floor concept in my house, and there's a wall.
So again, I mean, the bottom line here is, like, if you listen to these clips, basically is Norman Chan and Jeremy Williams, are they just talking right out of their ass? Are they talking out of their ass? Because if they're not, if you believe these people, they're saying that this is some next level stuff that is going on here. This is some next level stuff. And looking at this clip here, I could see how that would be next level. You're peeking around a wall, a real physical wall. You're peeking around. You see a portal over there. You're shooting things, aliens that are coming out of a portal. You duck back behind your wall. Do you know how freaking cool that is going to be? This is going to be incredibly cool. Now, we're not here yet. Again, I understand this. It's $2,300. It's got a limited FOV. A lot of these things are still very transparent. They are not 100% solid. The AI, the machine learning isn't there. It doesn't understand your table and your walls quite as good as it all needs to be. But it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming. It is coming for your ass. And it is going to take your wallet and it is going to slam that shit against the table because you're going to buy it, because there's going to be some compelling ass shit that is going to come down the pipe. Now, it might not come from Magic Leap. It might be coming from Apple. It might be coming from Microsoft. It might be coming from Google. It might come from some other company. But AR is coming for you. You're going to have to realize it. You're going to have to deal with it. Okay, let's go to our final clip is clip number 6. And I will get to all of your comments. Don't worry about it. I'll get to all of your comments. Let's go ahead and check out the final clip.
Little patio outside of some windows, and I thought the windows would definitely break it, but I swear to God there was a robot out on my patio. Wow. And I could only shoot him through the window, and otherwise he's totally occluded by the window frame and the bottom of the window, and it just worked perfectly. I don't know how he got out there, but it was really funny. I mean, it really felt like there was this robot in my space. I have a tiny little patio outside of some windows, and I thought the windows would definitely break it, but
Okay, so this is the last clip here, and basically, Jeremy Williams, he's talking about how when he was playing this, somehow one of the robots got outside of his house and was in a patio, and it just worked out beautifully, and it worked out magically, and that's what I'm talking about here, man. This stuff just is not that far away. I know, like it's the complete opposite of preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to the haters. I'm preaching to people that just don't buy into this shit. They just don't understand this shit. And you know, maybe, look, I will concede the fact that maybe I am as wrong as I can be. Maybe I am completely wrong. Maybe I have smoked one too many blunts with Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but I do believe there's going to be a time where we're going to have some AR experiences where we're going to be inside our house and we're going to see zombies that look real as F that are going to be walking around outside of our house. And we're going to look through our windows and we're going to see a zombie walk around. We're going to see crowds of zombies walking around outside of our house. And it is going to be compelling as you can possibly imagine. It's going to be incredibly compelling because the thing about VR is, remember, VR, we're seeing these magical worlds. We're not seeing real life. This is going to combine real life. Like, there's going to be real people walking around in your house. There's going to be dogs. There's going to be cats. And so your human brain is going to be sensing all of this information. And then out of the corner of your eye, you're going to see a zombie outside in your backyard scrambling along, or a giant spider that is like the size of a Chevy Nova scrambling outside of your house. And because your brain is buying into all of the stuff that is going on inside your house, all of these real things, and then you have one little digital thing that's running around, and the resolution is going to be incredibly high. We're going to have these super wide field of views. I'm telling you guys, you are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's so many people that believe that AR is never going to be a gaming thing. AR is going to dominate everything. It really is. It really is. It's simply a matter of time. Save this video and check back on it in 10 years. And you will think to yourself, wow, I can't believe I was so, like, I couldn't believe I didn't understand this. AR is going to kill everything. Everything, folks. Everything. VR, I'm going to tell you where VR is going to be relegated to. VR is going to be relegated to your home theater. Your home theater. Like, this used to be a home theater. Like, I would come in here on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and I would watch a really nice Blu-ray movie. I had a projector right here, and it projected onto that theater screen there. That theater screen is like 128 inches diagonal. I actually had it set up so, you know, when you guys go to the movie theater and they got the really wide view and there'd be a black bar on the top and a black bar on the bottom? I actually have this set up in such a way where there's no black bar on the bottom, there's no black bar on the top, and it's super widescreen, absolutely awesome. I could watch the original Star Wars movie in its perfect natural orientation. And I would come in here on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and this would be the spot, man. It's like, okay, a brand new Blu-ray movie just came out. It's Friday night. Let's go into the theater room and let's enjoy an awesome Blu-ray movie. That's going to be the equivalent of VR. VR in another 15 to 20 years, if you want that really, really immersive experience with VR where you just want to shut out the entire world and you want to go to a magical forest somewhere like Primordian or something, and you want to have that awesome VR experience, you're going to still be able to do that, but it's going to be kind of like home theater because people are going to use AR for everything else. We have our phones now. We pull out our phones. We're constantly looking at our phones. We go to Starbucks. We're waiting in line. We pull out our phones. We go to the grocery store. We're waiting in line. We pull out our phones. We're in a drive-through line waiting to get some food in a drive-through line. We pull out our phones. We look at it. That's what we do all the time right now. Well, that is going to be completely replaced. We're going to have glasses on our heads. We're going to have AR going on everywhere. 5G is going to, 5G, I know, 5G. 5G is going to be everywhere. We're going to be looking around and it's just, things are going to be popping up everywhere. It's going to be a completely different world. We are going to live in a different world. It's going to be the world of the Jetsons. And we're going to be using these glasses pretty much all freaking day. We're going to be playing games with them. We're going to be doing all kinds of things with them. Now, every once in a while, you're going to want to take them off and maybe have a really powerful VR experience, a really proper immersive VR experience. And you're going to go into your man cave and you're going to do that. But that's what VR is going to be relegated to. It's not going to be the Dominator. The Dominator is AR. I hate to tell you this. And it's not bad. It's all good. It's all good. You don't have to fear this AR future, because the only way that this AR future is actually going to happen, the only way it's going to happen is if it grabs all of you haters. If it becomes so compelling that you haters give up on it. You give up on the hate because you're going to hate it, you're going to hate it, you're going to hate it. But then you're going to try some really incredible AR and you're going to be like, wow, you know what? I really hated AR, but damn, what the hell these guys did now. Oh my goodness. I hated AR, but you know what? I'm changing my mind. That is what's going to happen. Again, this is like 5, 6, 7 years away. So you guys can continue to be correct for the next 3 or 4 years, but there's an expiration date on your hate. Your hate is not going to last. It's not going to last. And you're going to be okay with it. You're going to be perfectly fine with it. Give me the one person in chat that hates AR more than anyone else. Somebody in chat that hates AR more than anybody else, that person is going to turn a corner. They're going to love AR. Oh my God, they will love AR. They just don't know it yet. And it may be 10 years away. It may be 12 years away. But if you live another 15 years, you're going to see it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen right before your eyes, and you will not be able to avoid it. It will be everywhere. You will give up your hate. I remember this hate. I've seen it a number of times before. I remember when 2D gaming went to 3D gaming. There were people, dude, back in the days of 92 and 93 and 94, there were people, they just wanted to play Mario. They just wanted to play Sonic. They wanted everything to be two-dimensional. They couldn't understand 3D, and they didn't want 3D. What are those people playing now? They're playing 3D exclusively. I remember the days of HD TV. I remember when HD TV first came out. I had one in 1999. I had a Unity Motion HD TV before like anybody on planet Earth. I was probably, there may have been 1,000 people in Sacramento that had an HD TV in 1999, and I was one of them. And I remember back then, I would show it to people, and people would see it, and they would be like, this is never going to fly. It's never going to fly because I'm perfectly fine with the TV I have now is fine. I don't need this. I don't need HD TV. There were haters back then. They hated HD TV. They thought it was dumb and stupid, a waste of time. We don't need any resolution. How can it get better? Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? All of them are watching on HD TVs now, and it is ubiquitous. And that is exactly the same thing that's going to happen with AR. It's a reality. We got to deal with it. I'm not trying to be a hater here and say that VR sucks. I love VR. VR is incredible, and it's awesome because we have VR to bridge the gap. VR is going to bridge the gap until we finally have decent AR. And I got to admit, I'm not going to be doing any of this AR crap for the next 4 or 5 years either, because it's not going to be good enough. But there's going to be a day when it is good enough. And so basically the bottom line here is I just would love it if people would just open up their minds, to the possibility that there will be a day. There will be a day when AR is compelling as F. And I know you guys might not see it now, but there will be a day. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and check out the thoughts in chat. I know a lot of people are yelling and screaming like, dude, you are out of your mind. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. Let me try to find some stuff that we got here in chat. Okay, let's see. Greg's VR says AR will eventually get good, but dominate? No way. Well, I mean, the thing that I'll ask you, Greg's VR, is home theater dominating everything? No, it's not. People watch movies on a little phone. They watch movies on their freaking refrigerator, man. We got screens on refrigerators. People are not into high fidelity as much as you think they are. People don't need perfect high, like I'm really into like, you know, how many lines of resolution, you know, how clear is that? Oh, that's a 4K Blu-ray, baby. But there's so many people that don't give an F about any of that. They will watch a movie on a crappy ass tiny little phone or tablet and they are perfectly good with it. See, that's why AR is going to dominate everything, because people don't need to have everything perfect like it will be in VR. But in AR, they're going to be able to receive their phone calls. They're going to be able to see their dog. They're going to be able to see their cat. They're going to be able to participate in real life and not be isolated and shut off and still have some really incredible experiences at the same time. And that's why AR is going to dominate. Okay, let me go back and continue through some of these topics here. Jim Hall says VR is going to get better too. So I believe VR will be just as good. VR is going to get incredible. VR will be amazing. Like, I'm not trying to discount VR. I'm just saying VR, and eventually these things will merge. Eventually they will merge together and become the same device. I don't think it's going to happen as fast as everybody thinks it is. Like, everybody thinks that they're going to merge together really, really quickly. They're not. They're not going to merge together really, really quickly. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they're going in two different directions. For AR to be the right way, it's going to have to be like those Intel Vaunt glasses, or what was it called? Vaunt? What were those Intel glasses? It's going to have to basically be sunglasses, and AR is going to go in that direction. VR is going to be a larger thing that you put on your head. It's going to be a bigger contraption. And so they're not going to merge into each other until like 30 years from now. It's going to be a long time before they truly merge into each other the way we all think, where there's just going to be a dial and you just turn a dial to let in more reality or to close off more reality, just a little dial. But that's not going to happen for like 30 years. So AR and VR, they are going to be in different categories, and VR is going to be incredibly immersive, but it's still going to be bulky. You're not going to wear a VR headset all day. You will wear an AR headset all day. There will be compelling reasons for you to wear an AR headset all day. Okay, let me scroll down, way down here in chat. Let's get to some recent comments here. Push the Button says, Apple is merging VR and AR, doing it now for 2020. Well, Push the Button, you make so you're talking about Apple, and I'll tell you what, Apple is all about image. Apple is all about being this cool, trendy thing. Do you think Apple is going to want something bulky on your head? Hell no. Apple is not interested in that. They don't want something big and bulky on your head. And basically VR is going to be big and bulky for probably another 25 years. It really is. It's going to be big and bulky. So no, I don't believe Apple is going to merge VR and AR. They're going to concentrate on AR. AR is going to be where their bread is buttered. It's not going to happen for a while. Now, long term, absolutely. 30 years from now, absolutely. 30 years from now, we won't even be talking about AR and VR. There will be no distinction between the two. They will be the same thing. They will do both of the same thing. But that is 30 years from now. That is a long, long time away. We're very far away from being able to miniaturize our VR headsets to that kind of degree. I mean, we're eventually going to have screens that are like inches away from our eyes, that are curved. It's going to take a long time, folks. It's not going to happen. Okay, let's scroll back here and see. MS Khan says, that's like saying people hated DVDs. They did. In the beginning, nobody wanted DVDs. They were like, dude, we're perfectly fine with VHS tapes. This happens every time. I've been doing this since the very beginning. I've been involved with like high-end audio visual type stuff from the very beginning, and every time something new came along. I remember when DVD came along. I had a DVD player in 1997. In 1997, I had a DVD player. It was an RCA DVD player. I've always been a habitual early adopter guy. And I was one of the first people in Sacramento with a DVD player, no joke. I worked at an electronics store and I was able to get one at cost, and I bought the cheapest one there was. And people back then were like, I don't need DVD. VHS is perfectly fine. I don't need DVD. There's still grandmas to this day that are watching on old ass VHS tapes because they never felt like they needed DVD. That's my point. You made my point for me. Thank you so much, MS Con. You made my point for me. Thank you so much. People have hated this shit from the beginning of time because they always wondered, why do I need that? Everything's fine right now. I don't need that. Why do I need that? You're going to need that. You're going to want that. You're going to have that. It is going to happen. Let me see. Okay, going down to Greg's VR. Greg's VR. Nah, bro. No one hated DVDs unless they were HD DVD fans. No, I remember. I can go back to 1997, 1998, 1999. I'm not talking about like young people. I'm talking about like Joe and Sally Walmart. Like back at that time, they looked at it at DVD like, why do we need DVD? I'm perfectly happy with these old VHS tapes. Trust me, they were perfectly fine. I was trying to get them to get DVD players. I was selling them at a consumer electronics store. That was my freaking job. And they were perfectly fine with VHS. They had no interest. They were perfectly cool with VHS. It wasn't until it became painfully obvious to them that DVD was definitely the future, and they finally had to let go of their VHS tapes, and they finally got with the program. The same exact thing happened from the switch from 2D gaming to 3D gaming. The same exact thing happened with HD, with going from regular TV to HD TV. The same exact thing is going to happen with VR and AR. It's happening right now. We know all the haters. There's tons of VR haters. Forget about the AR thing. Let's just think about VR. There are tons of VR haters. We've seen the light. We know what VR is all about. We know that VR and AR are both unstoppable. But there's tons of haters that have no interest in VR right now. Like they've seen a little bit of VR and they're like, nah, I'm never going to put anything on my head. No, I'm never going to put anything on my head. There's people right now that will say they're never going to put anything on their head. There are people right now that are saying that. And those same people, if they are alive 15 years from now, they will have something on their head, guaranteed. They will have something on their head. And the reason it's going to happen is because it's going to get so compelling. It's going to get so compelling that their hate is going to wash away. It is going to wash away, and they are going to come to the realization that their hate was for naught. Their hate was for naught, and they are going to turn the corner. I guarantee you there were people that were hating DVD players. This has happened since the beginning of time, and it will never stop. It will continue to happen. Jim Hall says, this is going to be a 2-hour show now. No, you know what? We basically have ran through the show. I probably have pissed a lot of people off today. Saying that AR is going to dominate everything and all of that. But you know what? I stand by my comments. I'm standing by my comments. I am staying here. I just know that my comments are not going to be borne out. They're not going to be proven correct for another 8 or 9 years. And so I'm going to look like a dumbass for 8 or 9 years, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that, because there will be a day where I will be able to go back and grab this show 10 years from now and run this show. And I'm going to keep this chat. And I'm going to look at this chat and I'm going to be like, Jim Hall, do you remember 10 years ago? Do you remember 10 years ago when I did this show where I said AR was going to dominate everything and everybody thought I was crazy? I will save this show for that exact reason. So I am standing here. I am sticking to my comments. MS Khan says, I'm not pissed off. I just don't agree with you. No problem. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But anyway, guys, yeah, so we've been going for a while here. So it's a weird show. It's a weird show. You know what? But at least maybe this show, even if this show pissed you off, go ahead, smash the dislike button. go ahead, smash the dislike button. I have no hate with dislike. See, the cool thing about this show, you may have hated this show, and maybe I rubbed you the wrong way in this episode, and maybe you hated this show, but you know what? You weren't apathetic. You weren't apathetic. You probably felt one way or another, but you weren't completely apathetic. And that is what I want. I don't want anybody to be apathetic about these shows. So if anything, I don't mind. Go ahead, smash the dislike button. We could have 200 dislikes on this show, 300 dislikes. That would be awesome. I have no problems with that because that means you were not apathetic. So that is kind of cool. But that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for a crazy, very weird, very strange show of VR365. Yeah, we're changing our name to AR365. No, we're not. And I have a website called VR Game Rankings. And yes, I do believe AR is going to dominate, but I also believe it is 5, 6, 7 years away from prime time. Magic Leap will probably run out of money and go out of business before any of this pops off. I totally understand that. I don't have my head in the sand and think like, oh, Magic Leap, yeah, they're going to be the dominators. They're going to be the next $100 billion company. No. I don't believe that. This is 6, 7, 8 years away. It really is. But, you know, so just wanted to kind of go down that road. Definitely a strange show. Definitely weird. Definitely strange. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today's program. Of course, I will be back tomorrow on Sunday. Now, tomorrow, I believe I'm going to be starting at 11 a.m. on the dot because we do not have a VR Roundtable episode tomorrow. We're kind of on a little bit of a break for VR Roundtable. We're enjoying the Christmas season and all of that. But I'm not enjoying any of that. I will be back here at 11 a.m. We will be back to regular, normal VR discussion. We can forget about this AR stuff. I just thought it would be kind of interesting. Anthony, need to go back and read all the comments. Skipped over them. Yeah, there's a million comments. I can't go through all of them. But yeah, I will check out some of these comments. And you know what I might do actually is grab some of these key comments and maybe use them on the mailbag tomorrow. Because I'm sure there were some very interesting ideas. Like one of the ideas, actually, I'll get to one comment real quick before I sign off here. Because I know one of the things that Jim Hall talks about, and this is a complaint that a lot of people talk about. I don't want to see my same house. I don't want to see that wall. I don't want to see that floor and that ceiling over and over and over again and have an AR experience that keeps coming out of that wall and keeps coming out of that floor and keeps coming out of that ceiling. I don't want to have that over and over again. That's a big complaint that a lot of people make. And what I'll tell you is, here's the deal. Number one, there's going to be experiences that are so freaking compelling that you're not going to pay attention to the fact that it's the same wall, the same floor, and the same ceiling. There's going to be so many things that are happening inside your three-dimensional space, characters talking to you, little things flying around, little things happening, that the background is going to be a non-issue. You're not even going to think about that. That's point number one. Point number two, there are going to be AR experiences where you can walk all over your house. You're not going to be staying in a single room. You're going to be walking into your living room. You're going to be walking into your backyard. You might even walk all the way down to the park, and the AR experience is going to continue the entire way. Now, again, we are talking like 10, 15 years. It's a long time away, but it will be there. Alrighty, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this crazy, crazy show. I had a lot of fun. It was interesting. It was weird, but you know, it is time to move on. So that's going to do it. I will see everybody tomorrow on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. See you guys then. Have a good one. Take it easy. Later.